systems of equations using the elimination method. This is where Miss McAllister becomes a math geek, in case you haven't already been able to tell. Systems is one of my favorite concepts. Elimination is my favorite method because it's like a puzzle. So, when eliminating, you want to eliminate a variable by addition. And that could be adding a negative as well, so it would look like subtraction, but it's technically addition. So, first thing you want to do is look at your two equations. If something would easily cancel out, that's what you want to do. You want to cancel it out. So if we look at this first example, we have 3x plus 9y equals 0, and negative 3x minus 2y equals negative 7. So if I go to add those together, 3x plus 9y equals 0, and then we have a negative 3x minus 2y equals negative 7. I want to add those two equations together. If I do that, 3x plus a negative 3x, or just 3x minus 3x, completely cancels out. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to eliminate a variable. Now, 9 plus a negative 2, 9y plus a negative 2y, or just 9 minus 2y, is 7y. And then 0 plus a negative 7, or just 0 minus 7, is negative 7. I now have an equation with one variable in it that I can solve. So I'm going to divide both sides by 7. Y is going to equal negative 1. So there's my first answer. Since y equals negative 1, I can now take it, and listen carefully, plug it into one of the original equations. So what's written here in blue. Don't try to, if anything has to change here, don't plug it in there. Always plug it into a problem that is given to you. So, I'm going to take the first equation. It's set equal to 0. We have 3x plus 9y equals 0. Y is negative 1, so I'm going to plug it in there. So I'll have 3x plus 9 times negative 1 equaling 0. 3x minus 9 is going to equal 0. Add 9 to both sides. 3x is going to equal 9. Divide by 3. X equals 3. So your two answers, x equals 3, y equals negative 1. You can write it as an ordered pair, 3, negative 1. And that is your answer for that first example. Example 2 looks a little different. So we have negative 4x minus y equals 5, negative 6x minus y equals 9. I'm going to go ahead, negative 4x minus y equals 5, negative 6x minus y equals 9. If I were to add them together, something does not easily cancel out like it did in example 1. Negative 4x and negative 6x do not cancel each other out. Negative y and negative y do not cancel each other out. So when this happens, you have to change one of the equations to make it cancel out. So if I look here, negative 4 and 6, that's going to cause a lot of work. But negative y and y, they have the same coefficient. I'm going to go ahead and change this top equation. I could also change the bottom equation, your choice. I'm going to change the top equation and make it cancel out with this negative y. So in order for this to be able to cancel out, this negative y has to be positive. And in order to do that, I have to multiply the whole equation by negative 1. If I do that, distributive property, I will have a positive 4x, a positive y, and then that's going to equal a negative 5. I'm now going to add this second equation and this new equation in green together. So negative 6x plus 4 gives me a negative 2x. My y's cancel out. That's what I wanted to happen. And then 9 minus 5 is 4. I'm then going to divide by negative 2 to both sides. X is going to equal negative 2. Again, plug into an original equation. Do not plug into this green equation. You will not get the right answer. So, let's go ahead and pick the first equation. Negative 4x minus y is going to equal 5. I'm going to take and plug that x in. Negative 4 times negative 2 minus y equals 5. This is going to give me 8 minus y equals 5. Subtracting 8 from both sides. Negative y is going to equal negative 3, and then dividing by negative 1. Y equals 3. So your answer here is negative 2, 3 will be your final answer. Okay. Let's look at the next example. We have x plus 6y equals negative 20, and negative 4x plus 2y equals 28. So x plus 6y equals negative 20. Negative 4x plus 2y equals 28. Again, nothing easily cancels out. What do I notice? This has a negative 4. This has a 1 for a coefficient. I can easily make that top equation cancel out by multiplying the whole thing by a positive 4. So if I do that, that's going to give me, this new equation is going to become in red. 4x plus 24y equals negative 80. Distributive property through all. I now can add these two equations together. So my x's are going to cancel. 2y plus 24y is 26y. And 28 minus 80, negative 60, negative 51. Negative 52 is going to equal negative 52. I'm then going to divide both sides by 26. And y is going to end up equaling negative 2. Again, plug into an original equation. So choosing that first equation. I know what y is. I'm going to take it and plug it in. So I'll have x plus 6 times negative 2 equals negative 20. Then we'll have x minus 12 equals negative 20, and add 12 to both sides. X is going to equal negative 8. So your final answer is negative 8, negative 2. Last example. Again, we have negative 2x minus 5y equals negative 9. 9x plus 7y equals 25. So let's look at those two equations. We have negative 2x minus 5y equals negative 9. And 9x plus 7y equals 25. If we look, nothing easily eliminates, nothing easily multiplies to change an equation. We have to multiply both equations in this scenario. So you can pick the deal with your x's, or you can pick the deal with your y's. I'm going to go ahead and deal with my x's. It does not matter. You can deal with either or. I'm going to pick my x's. So a number that 2 and 9 have in common is 18. So I'm going to multiply my top equation. I'm going to multiply that whole thing by 9. And I'm going to multiply my bottom equation by 2. We have a positive and negative already, so it's going to cancel out. So my two new equations are going to be negative 18x minus 45y is going to equal negative 81. And then we're going to have positive 18x plus 14y, and that's going to equal 50. And I'm going to add those two equations together. My x's are going to cancel. Negative 45 plus 14 is going to be negative 31. So negative 31y equals negative 31. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 31. Y is going to equal 1. So that's your first answer. Again, plug it into an original equation. Do not plug it into these equations that we made. So we're going to plug it into an original. So I'm going to say that negative 2x minus 5y is going to equal negative 9. I'm going to take my y and I'm going to plug it in. So negative 2x minus 5 times 1 is going to equal negative 9. Negative 2x minus 5 equals negative 9. Adding 5 to both sides. Negative 2x is going to equal negative 4. And I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. X is going to equal 2. So your final answer is 2, 1. Elimination worksheet is posted on Schoology. Remember, it's homework. Do not turn it in. Thursday, Group B, STAR test, and a worksheet. Group A is just working on a worksheet. That will be turned in. So homework does not get turned in, stays in your notebook. If you have any questions, send me a message.